Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. Now today we're working with some April Spellbinders Club materials and it is so fun. I've got the Market Jar Trio and you may have seen me work with it. It's got strawberries, olives, and pickles. I've done the olives and pickles, but I have not done the strawberries, and so I'm going to do it. This set has 16 cutting dies, and it was the extra goodie if you got the all crates barrel. And I might be a day late on this. I think you can actually order the kit and through the 26th. So I don't know, you might be able to still get it if the crate yet today, but they may have moved on to the new month. Anyway, I've got all of my bits and pieces here. I've got 7 strawberries and 7 strawberry backs and leaves and some florals that I brought in from the Classic Kicks die because I wanted to add some florals to this, but we're just going to get to assembling our strawberries. And I chose 7. I thought I would put 5 on the inside of the jar and reserve 2 for other areas of my card. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but we're going to get them all assembled. So while I'm assembling all these strawberries, it's pretty repetitive. We'll just have a little bit of story time. So I canceled the live for Monday night because we had a soccer meet and we had a t-ball game that we were going to go to, and it would have been the first t-ball game for the little ones. We've got a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, not yet 4-year-old, that are playing, and it would have been so cute and super fun, but we got these storms, and I'm not kidding you, it is so dark. We've gotten a ton of rain, and it's just really, really windy, and the wind is just blowing through the trees right now as I'm doing the voiceover. So it would have been super fun, and I'm looking forward to those t-ball games. I've certainly been to some of the soccer games before for my granddaughter, but I haven't been to a t-ball game with her grandsons yet. So I'm looking forward to that. I know it's going to be hilarious because these kids are very young, and it'll be pretty amusing to watch them play. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think next Monday I'll be able to do that. They've got a couple of Monday games, and then they've got some other games. So I probably am going to be kind of spotty on my Monday night lives if you do watch those. But anyway, it is getting to the season where we want to be outside more and be doing some different things. So we'll just have to adjust the schedule accordingly. So I've got 5 of these assembled. Sorry, I'm still fighting some seasonal allergies and having to clear my throat, but we're going to get the other 2 assembled, and then we'll just move on to we're going to add our stems and our leaves to the tops of the strawberries as well, and they're going to kind of bring them to life. So I've just used some poppy cardstock Spellbinders, and I use this, look at this lint roller. So I used it to help remove all of the little strawberry bits, and it's all over that lint roller. I use that lint roller all the time to clean off my plates, to help, kind of pick the bits out of the die cut pieces like this. I'll also take it and roll it across my floor and pick up any bits that are on my floor when I just need to get the little bits and I don't want to drag the sweeper out. I'll use it. Now I had an extra black piece because I did an odd number, and when I laid the strawberries down, I die cut them out to where I had an odd number, but when I laid the black down, I just laid the whole die on there because they cut 2 at a time, so you don't have to run as many presses because you can get 2 strawberries at a time with each one of those. So I've chosen a couple of different colors for my my stems, and I basically have brought in rain, forest, and peridot is what I'm using. And these are great if you've got a bin of scraps. This is a great thing to use your scraps on because the strawberries are small enough, and the stems here are certainly small enough as well. So, and I mean, I was using edges of the green where I had die cut like centers out of it, and I just had like the outside frame. I was able to lay these dies down on kind of just some real narrow strips of cardstock and really make the most out of it. I try really hard to do that with Spellbinders cardstock because it is good quality cardstock and I want to make it last. And so that's what I did with my my stems and my leaves for my strawberries. Now I had 1 extra piece left. Now I did take that Classic Kicks, which was another club die, I think from the previous month, and it had some little flowers in it. And I thought the flowers resembled the types of flowers you get, that grow with your strawberries. And so I brought those in, and I brought in the centers, and I just die cut those out in yellow to kind of match how those flowers look. And we'll get these centers laid down on there. Now I've got them laid on a piece of mint tape. When I have these little bitty tiny pieces like this that I'm afraid I'm going to lose on my craft desk, I'll stick them on a piece of tape and lay them aside so that I can keep track of them and I don't lose my little bits and pieces. I needed to do this on the last live I did, because during the live a couple times I lost some pieces, and I should have thought to do this then. Now I did take that Classic Kicks. It had some leaves in there as well, and I die cut some leaves out. I think I even brought in a scrap of fern and got a little darker leaf there as well. So we've got the peridot and the fern. I've got a side folding card base. This is just hammer mill cardstock that I buy by the case, and I cut these up and score them myself and fold them. And I have got the Playful Stitched Edge dies that were recently released, and I'm going to use them for one of my panels here, and that way we'll have a little bit of design. I like to use dies when I can, just to add a little bit more interest. Certainly if you don't have them, you can just cut these down and layer them up appropriately. So I wanted to have white, I want to go white, red, white. And so I took 1/4 of an inch off top and side, so that we'll have 4 by 5 1/4. We'll get it laid down on here, and then that frame is going to lay inside of that as well. And it's kind of a little bit of a wonky shape, so you don't have to be so exacting when you're laying it down on there, because it's not exactly perfect. But I think it'll make a beautiful layering piece. So I'm just die cutting that out using my Anna Griffith Empress. And my panel picked up something on there, and so I just used my glue eraser to just wipe it off. And I decided, it's a little bit flat. So I ran and got an embossing folder. And this is called, I think, Bamboo Trellis or something. I will link it in the description box below so you can check it out. It is a great 3D embossing folder. And this embossing folder gives such great dimension to your panels, and it looks fantastic on that red. So I'm just going to layer it up and get this laid down on my card base. Now I'm kind of, as I was doing this, I thought this was kind of an interesting way to assemble a card. I did all the strawberries and the flowers, and then I went to the card base and layered it up, and then I come back to the jar and the other stuff. And I'm watching one of my friends go live this evening, ECR, and so I keep reaching over and typing in the comments, so I just kind of edited that out. And I just had to pause a minute because the weather radio just went off and gave us a warning that we're in the middle of something. So I heard the beeping of it. I can't actually hear what the little guy is telling us, so I'll have to go in there and check. But I could tell because I was getting increasing amount of rumble going on outside. So I'm thinking something's getting ready to move into our area. So we'll probably have to buckle down a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to get this voiceover finished. I think I have time. They usually give you a little bit of time. Anyway, so I've got just a couple different sizes of foam strip here that I'm laying down on here, just firming up this panel, giving it some strength and some dimension, and laying it on there. And I just love how that red and white just pops right there, and I think it's going to look really nice. Now for my jar, I chose to use a couple of different colors. I've got chiffon and Bellini. Chiffon is the lighter background panel there, and then Bellini is what I've decided to cut the tag layer out of, and I'm using the poppy for the hello, just kind of keeping it simple. And I think these pair nice together. You'll see I've got some baker's twine off to the side. We're going to use that on our card as well. And I'm just going to get this lined up. I've got the remnants from the hello. I used some green mint tape to pull it out and pull it out together as a whole, so I could use that on something and have a different hello message with the insides of that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the vellum for the outside of the jar, put the label on it. I'm going to put my strawberries on the inside of the jar, And then we'll get our vellum laid back on there and it will look like the outside of the jar. I'm just going to pair these up. I picked that specific one that I laid in the middle because I didn't line it up very well and I can see just a little bit of black behind it. And so I thought, we'll lay that in the middle and then I'll layer one on top of it and cover up that black. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm just going to get some glue on this strawberry here, get it tucked in, and I'm kind of keeping it toward the bottom, and then I'm going to bring some and put them at the top because we're going to have our label there and I won't necessarily need strawberries in that area as much. So we'll just get a couple of these laid down. I originally thought I was going to put 7 of them on the inside of that jar, and then I realized that I wanted to save some for the outside. So we're just going to put 5 on the inside of the jar. So I'll get these glued up and get them laid down on there. And then we'll line up our label, and I think it'll work out all right. I think it looks nice. And I like how it's, it's made the strawberries kind of muted, and it does make them look like they appear that they are in a jar. So I'm going to line up my vellum on my glass board there, and I'll use a magnet to hold it down. And then I'm going to try and use that center line there to get this thing lined up right. Now, I'm not sure if I've got it exactly lined up on that glass board, but I tried, so it'll be close enough. And we're going to just line the label up with that line, the bold line there on my glass board, and just kind of help me to line it up a little bit. So these glass boards are great for measuring and lining things up. It works out great. So this is how it's going to go, and I think it's a fun idea. And then we're going to add, I've got the chiffon and the poppy for the lid to the jar. And I'm just going to get the chiffon laid down on there. I'm laying it right on the vellum, and then we'll layer that poppy up. And then I'm going to need to add some foam tape to the back of this lid, because when I lay it on the strawberries, it is going to, kind of sag a little bit because I have the rest of my jar on top of the strawberries, which have given it some dimension. I'm also going to put some foam in the middle of that to kind of keep it from sagging where I don't include strawberries. So I'll just bring in some thin foam strips and we'll get them laid down on there, and it will keep it from the vellum from sagging. And I'm not really going to put any glue on this vellum. I don't want it to show, but I'm going to be able to work it with my foam to where it'll be good and secure and I won't have to worry about it. So I'm going to get this lined up on here as best I can. And then we're going to add some foam to the lid of that, and it will help secure it, keep it from sagging, and help with the adhesion of the vellum. Now I'm going to bring my baker's twine in, and there's a nice little ridge around there where your lid goes on, and I'm just going to nestle this baker's twine that is red and white in there, kind of using my hands to get a little knot in there, and then we're just going to tie a little bow in there, and we're going to have a nice little bow on our jar, and I think it looks cute. I love red. I think I've mentioned before on my channel, red is my favorite color. I don't work with it as much as you think I would, but I love it. In fact, my guitar, my electric guitar, is red, and it is lovely, and red is my favorite color. So there we go. So I've got it on there, and I'm going to get it laid down on my card base. I'm just eyeballing it, trying to see if, is this going to work out all right, and trying to figure out if I need to put something on the tape. But I thought once I got the glue on there and I pulled off this backer strip off the foam tape, it would be good and secured. And so it actually is, especially because I don't have any glue on the vellum at the bottom, but I'm going to strategically place these strawberries and the flowers that go along with it to help secure the bottom of the vellum so it would not lift up and, kind of off of my card. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take and put a little bit of foam behind this strawberry and position it to where it's going to hold down that corner. And I thought about layering up 2 of them, and I thought, no, that's a little bit more than what I want. And so I'm going to lay that one aside. I'll bring in a couple of my little flowers. I'm going to use the 2 littlest ones. and we'll layer them up with a leaf, and we'll get them positioned on this corner as well with our strawberry, and it will further help secure the vellum by kind of layering on top of that. So I'm going to bring in, I had thrown a little piece of foam up top when I cut a piece too long, and so I grabbed it and just split it in half, and we're going to get it laid down on these tiny flowers, and then I'm going to position it to where it's just going to be another little adherence for that vellum, and that way we won't have to worry about it raising on the bottom of that card base. And we'll get that one laid down on there. I decided I didn't leave enough room, so I'm going to move it up, and then we'll get this one tucked in there, and we've got a strawberry and 2 flowers, and I think these flowers look like the ones that grow on the vine with the strawberry vines, I think. And then we'll get this laid on there, and I'm going to bring it in, and we're going to use the extra strawberry and the little flower with just one leaf on the inside of the card, and then we'll just have one stray green leaf left there that we didn't use, and otherwise we used all the die cut pieces that I had. And I'm just kind of cleaning things up, getting it out of the way. And here we go. Here's our card, and I think it turned out super cute, and I've got some stuff on the inside. So I hope you like it. Here's a picture. If you liked, please consider hitting the like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.